All right, welcome everybody. USfanTV here. I'm Chris, and joining me as most of the time is TJ. Say hello, TJ.
Hello, TJ. Oh, wait, never mind.
Perfect.
There we go.
Joining us not tonight, or sometimes as said, not joining us tonight, is one hat guy Pat, because hat guy Pat decided that he had hat guy things to do and was too cool to be on USfanTV. So screw him. Anyway, tonight, what do we say? Brazil beat the United States 2-0, although much like a certain game versus Italy in 2006, I really count it as a 1-0 game because the referee decided to add a goal. Not to say that Brazil didn't completely outplay us, but the second goal, absolute trash. Your thoughts?
Yeah. Me who defends the referee, there's times referees miss calls. This was one of them.
I
He
don't think
missed.
that was a missed call. I think that was simply having a Mexican referee.
Nah, I wouldn't go that far. He missed. It's that simple.
I have for years had a problem when the U.S. has a referee from Mexico because would England allow a referee from Argentina to call their games? Like you don't have a country that is a rival and a nation you have like hundreds of years of struggle with, a
Just
century of struggle
stop.
with as a referee.
Just
Oh come
stop.
on! Every
The
time we have a
referees are
Mexican referee, there's always
they're
like
professional. He's a professional,
ah.
and you know what? Bottom line, he missed. Guess what? It's a friendly. You don't worry about stuff like this for that. You get the best referees you can get for the night and who's available, not working, so on and so forth. He was fine. There were a lot of other things he probably could have dealt with, and he chose to let it go. He was fine. It wasn't the problem. It was a bad penalty. It wasn't going to change the result of the
It
game.
did not change the result of the game.
What it
I
probably
will
meant
say that.
that 1-0. If it's 1-0 instead of 2-0, Brazil probably keeps its foot on the gas a little bit longer into the second half. Instead of at 60 minutes starting to let up and just play the ball around, they probably go to 75 or 80 until they got the second goal.
That is
So
true.
not really.
I'm not actually blaming it on the referee. It was a bullshit call. I'm not actually blaming the loss.
I,
Brazil, as expected, completely handled us.
I had this thought, and I don't know if I saw it somewhere or whatever. I always like to use different sports analogies, but this is the only one I could think of. This is like the U.S. The U.S. team got stuck playing on all Madden for the first time. Like these kids, they were the levels were kicked up to all Madden, and they aren't ready for that level yet.
That is true. I mean, there was a definite difference. I mean, you're looking at a team of guys who say play for middling to good teams in good leagues around Europe largely versus a team of starters for Barcelona, Real Madrid, PSG, and Bayern Munich.
Yeah, it's definitely a quality
The
difference, and
yeah, yeah.
I had. And I was kind of glad to see that Brazil didn't bring a half-ass squad; that they brought a decent squad
Yeah.
over. And I know a lot of it's marketing and so on and so forth. But
Although they did bring Neymar Jr., not the real Neymar.
he might have been. I don't know.
Never heard of him. I don't know.
I don't know. My favorite thing tonight was after the penalty, somebody asked, "How do you say dive in Portuguese?" And my answer was Neymar. So I thought that was kind of the best thought I had of the night. But
Neymar. That sounded more Italian, but whatever. Uh, yeah, yeah. That's absolutely true. Um, what did you think of the U.S. players?
um, it was funny. I was just before the game. I was reading something about Anthony Robinson. And it's like, oh, he's going to have a good game tonight. I've watched him in the championship, and then he gets absolutely torched on the first goal.
Yeah,
Um, then again, Douglas Costa does that to everybody.
yeah. I mean, on the one hand, like he showed his speed and some of the things that give promise. He also showed a number of times why he still needs some seasoning. Why he's not ready to go start for Everton. Say, why he's
Yeah,
not playing in the Premier League right now or somewhere else even.
But as good, and that cross was brilliant. But if you better if you're not on somebody, you better get the ball.
Yeah.
And there was way too many runners marking free. I don't know if you blame Miazga, Brooks.
I really blame both of them. I mean, that was an instance. Frankly, I blame Miazga more for kind of the end product, but there's fault in both places there. A number of times you saw Robinson get caught in a 1v1 or just get flat out beat. That was one of them. Then you get to the cross. Miazga totally lost. Was that Coutinho who scored? I can't remember who scored the first goal. Totally lost him. Didn't mark. Had no idea where he was. He was wildly goal side of him, or I mean, excuse me, ball side of him, and just had left him wide open. That said, Miazga, for the most part, beyond that, had a good game. There were times that Neymar probably would have scored if not for some of his defending.
Sure, Firmino scored the first goal.
Thank you. That's right. Yeah, I should have known that because Coutinho was deeper anyway. But anyway, it's my aversion to Liverpool players.
Anonymity points out Robinson looked woefully out of his depth. Most people do against Costa.
Yeah.
That's just it. Most people do. He's one of the top probably 5-10 wingers in the world.
Yeah.
So
yeah, and when you think about it, that's how dangerous Brazil truly is. That it's like you don't even talk about Douglas Costa, but oh, here's all these other guys that as we talked about in advance, as we've discussed amongst ourselves in advance. Here's all the guys. Oh God, I can't believe Firmino's playing. I can't believe Coutinho's playing. I can't believe we're going to have to face Neymar. You don't even mention some of the other guys like Costa, where it's like, oh, come on.
Or Willian coming in off the bench.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it was a stacked squad, which, like I said, it was like the U.S. went from playing on semi-pro to playing at Legend or All Madden or whatever you want to call it. They aren't ready for that yet.
Yeah.
Then again, but look at the average age. And would Pulisic have mattered? He would have mattered a great deal.
He definitely would have made a difference because, one, it presumably, early on, when we were having trouble even getting in, past more than maybe 20 yards past the midfield line, he would have helped in terms of some of that progression. But he also probably would have helped draw some defenders to him because you saw many times when we'd have the ball anywhere past, say, the bottom half of the circle, they'd get double and triple teamed because they knew they didn't have to mark because we didn't have enough guys forward. But on top of it, they knew they could outplay us. Add a couple guys that could actually play with the ball, and suddenly they have to respect us a little bit more. Then you have more room. I mean, you saw some of that in the second half where Tyler Adams was actually doing a good job pushing forward with the ball. But early on, when it was when one, he couldn't push that far forward out of midfield, but also they weren't respecting us enough. They weren't giving enough space. No, he never had a chance. He needed another guy that he could pass to. And yeah, in that regard, somebody like Pulisic would have been fantastic.
But I disagree with the anonymity. He says Green was mostly terrible tonight, and I thought Green was all right. I had no problem. Green, for somebody who's meddling in the middle of the second division of German football, he does all right for the national team. Is he a world beater yet? No. Is he as good as we thought he was going to be? No, he's not there. But was he solid? He wasn't bad. He wasn't. I mean, the one that I was impressed. I liked Yedlin's game tonight. I thought he did fine. I think my favorite line was, "Did you see the World Cup?" to the referee when Neymar was doing Neymar stuff. Miazga was very. I thought Miazga. Other than that goal, Miazga was very good.
Miazga and Brooks both played very well. Brooks, unfortunately, didn't get a goal on either of those headers.
Yeah.
Or even get it on frame. I mean, that's stuff that you wanted that 2014 Portugal goal. Either of those, and suddenly, all we'd be talking about is, wow, did you see how well Brooks played? But the balls he was playing, he was he was sending cross field passes. I mean, he was switching fields and doing it like on the money every time. So he was playing well with the ball at his feet. He was defending, and he got in the mix on corners, so that was good to see. Miazga definitely, while yes, you know his that first goal I think showed some, you could say naivete, you could say inexperience, whatever. All in all, had a very good game. The two of them I think absolutely are center pairing going forward. Maybe against someone like Brazil, once we really have a team in place, maybe you start looking at like Carter Vickers as a third, and you just kind of you play with five at the back or something, which maybe you could say we kind of did towards the end. But by the end, the game was getting much more fluid and much more back and forth. So it's hard to say exactly where everyone was truly lining up.
And that's where Brazil took its foot off the gas. Like,
yeah, oh no,
and they stopped.
Yeah.
They were knocking the ball around. I don't know. I thought the last 30 minutes were they were pretty well boring at that point, to be honest.
Yeah. Although McKinney should have had a goal there in the last.
Yeah.
What was that? It might have been 25 minutes. I don't remember exactly. 75 minute. It was inside of 80, I guess. So maybe 75th minute. I'm not sure exactly when it was, but
I don't know. I don't know if this is translate, but you got to look in the chat box if that's translate or Javier Mendoza is just really funny. Paul Nipples was horrible. If it translates to that, that's outstanding. And if it's not Javier, that you just won the night with that one. I did like that's a good one.
I have to say,
except he's got to be Paulie Nipples, I think.
Paulie Nipples needs to learn how to cross.
Yes,
I love that guy on the ball. We don't have a lot of wingers, so I want to keep giving him chances. But God, does he need to learn to cross, because he has opportunities, and it's like he just boots the ball 20 yards over their heads or 20 yards off the mark. And it's going to, I say he's maybe got one more chance, and then it probably kills his national team career, at least for a few years. And it sucks because I don't see anyone else really in our pool who is fast like he is, can dribble with the ball like he is, who will take guys on one-on-one like he will.
But look how many,
look
at the
guys
guys
stay wide to do it, and he can't get the end product there, and that's always a disappointment. Well, and I should say, and plays two ways. Like, the guy actually plays defense and is a winger. We don't have a lot of guys who are willing, who like commit forward to play offense and still come back and play defense.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. Who's that? I want to look through the bench just real quick because there were a couple. Carter Vickers. Yeah, I'm looking through it, and you're right. There isn't a lot of wingers. Leggett, maybe.
Yeah. Leggett could have. He did get sent home with that abdominal injury.
Right, but you're talking about wingers.
Yeah, I mean, you look really at our pool, and there aren't many guys who could truly play as a winger. Like we've got two wing fullbacks.
Finally,
Robinson and Yedlin.
Finally,
we don't have like actual wingers out there.
No,
and our problem becomes we are a very narrow team then. And so you want to see the opportunity. It's one of the reasons I keep calling for Areola to play, for Paulie Nipples to make the team, because I want to see him. Who else do we have to really compete with him? But God, please, like DC United, somebody just focus on making him learn to cross. Just spend the next 6 months teaching him to cross, because man, under pressure, and not even under that much pressure, but like in the run of the game, he cannot hit a cross. It was the same problem in the Gold Cup last summer.
Sure.
And it's unfortunate because, God, I love that guy otherwise. He is so many things that we are not as like a nation.
What about Weah? I mean,
can he play? I did like that he actually put their defense under pressure and forced them to make some mistakes when he came in. You know, like in the second half, that was.
But can he play wide?
I think he's probably the other one that we have right now. I would say like my real dream is Pulisic could play wide, but we got to find somebody who can play in the middle. I mean, we've talked about this in the past that
Yeah,
like,
we have.
you know,
Um,
I feel like his size and his speed, while he still is this young and has this speed and things, you push him out wide because you don't want him to just get smashed and crushed and like
Beasley
just a little bit, yeah. Like
smashed and crushed.
he's a new Beasley, and you don't want to see him just get destroyed by guys who want to just break his ankles because they know that'll stop him. So you move him outside. The problem is, who do we have then as a playmaker? We got to find somebody new, and so far that we haven't quite
No, we're not there.
established that role yet. So
I mean, McKinney and Adams are fine for holding, but they're not. They
yeah,
aren't. Neither one are
yeah,
playmaker in that playmaker role yet.
yeah.
I guess overall the night I would say it went, other than a bad penalty, but a 2-0 score line, the level of pressure when Brazil had its foot on the gas, it all kind of went kind of how I
We
expected it.
played out of the back.
Yeah,
Like there were a lot of things that were positive for us, especially in the face of what we knew was going to be. I mean, come on. Was there anyone really calling for a US win here? Like we had both
no,
said it's not happening. No one I've talked to has said it's happening. Um, I did put something on the website today about like what if,
I
but
saw that.
it was truly a what does that mean? Like let's say the unbelievable thing happens. What does that mean to this coaching search? It was more of just a like what do you do if the impossible suddenly becomes reality? But like I said, even there, I'm not expecting this to happen. It's not going
Not
to
tonight.
happen.
No.
But yeah, like hey, we played at the back. We played pretty well. We actually managed to hold pressure against them. We didn't hold possession, but for a team that for effectively a bunch of kids against a team that you would expect at any time to challenge for a World Cup.
You know what though? What I think
It
what you're
wasn't terrible.
I think what you're seeing is you're starting to see the basic. Pulisic aside, and maybe finding a forward. You're starting to see a core of a team. I think
Yeah.
that you're going to see once the games actually matter.
Yep. Yeah.
I think your back four are pretty well settled.
Oh,
Maybe
absolutely. Yeah.
Carter Vickers in play, rotating through, but I think your back four are pretty well settled. I
Yeah.
think I think McKinney and Adams in the middle. I think that's pretty well settled. You're going to need to find some wings, and Pulisic slot in the up in there somewhere. But I think Stefan is. I saw nothing out of Zach Steffen that says he shouldn't be your guy going. I think he's the guy. At this point,
Yeah.
I am sold.
Yeah. I mean,
He's the guy
I
at this
think he
point.
probably could have been better positioned on the first goal, but at the same time, you can't leave somebody like Firmino wide open in the box,
No.
in effectively the 6-yard box, and say like, well, the keeper could have saved that. No, he couldn't.
No,
Like
no.
he could have been better positioned, I suppose. But is that still getting scored, even if he's in the right position? Yeah. Come on, you're still talking about a guy who's
if he's in the right position, Firmino's going to find somewhere else to put it.
Yeah.
I mean, you make it a little
or it's
harder,
one
but
of
he's
those
going
where
to.
like he touches the ball and it goes in anyway. Like, oh, he like deflects it a little bit, but it's still in the back of the net. It doesn't matter. He wasn't going to stop that goal.
No.
So, yeah, the things that I liked that when he was playing the ball with his feet, it was unlike anything we have short of Bragazan. Howard couldn't do that. Howard was great. Like that guy could throw the ball 60 yards on a dime. It was like I like the goal against what is it, Algeria from 2010.
Yeah.
That was Howard could throw the ball anywhere within probably 60 to 70 yards and hit his mark.
Howard probably had a career.
He
probably had a career as an NFL quarterback in that sense.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's
Keller was like all over the field when it came to kicking the ball. Friedel had decent feet, but like I don't think he had the range or the control that even like Stefan has. Like Friedel's the closest. Friedel's our most complete goalie to date. I don't think any of us will argue that. Anyone on this show anyway.
Agreed.
Guzan just never had the like reflexes, I guess, that like Friedel or Howard had, or
Yeah.
we'd still or he'd still be the keeper because he positioned himself well and had great feet. Stefan seems to be able to position himself, have good reactions, and play with his feet. Until somebody can beat him and truly demonstrate that they're better, to me, he's the number one. Like, and
Yeah.
probably we're looking at years of it.
Yeah, because he's still young. I mean, he's still a kid.
Yeah, yeah.
No, like I said, you're starting to see a spine of it. I want to come back to Javier's question. I do like that question. You know what? Maybe, and I saw a couple people saying Josh Sargent instead of Bobby Wood up top. Maybe eventually. Maybe he's 18.
Yeah.
Let's see what the future holds with him. He's not there yet.
There wasn't a lot for Bobby Wood to do today.
No.
Yes, you'd like to see him make something out of nothing every once in a while. I think the problem is that he's struggled kind of professionally across the board for the last year, and you're sort of seeing it. Like I don't think he's trying in the same way, and I think he's probably thinking too much when he has the opportunity to suddenly do something. Stuff that once upon a time he would have like he would have like seen a ball coming to him and started thinking, oh, I'm going to drop it, or I'm going to play it like this, and I'm going to push the defender this way, and I'm going to go around. And now he's thinking like, just don't screw this up.
Yeah. I mean,
or he's thinking about laying it off instead of like, how am I going to score from this?
And I said this last year over the time on the show. Bobby Wood basically got in golf they call it the shanks. El Joseros, the laterals. Yeah. He had a hitch in his swing. It was like Mackie Sasser when he couldn't throw it back to the pitcher. Call it whatever analysis you want to call it. You can't hit a free throw. It didn't matter. It was a glitch, in his swing, for lack of a better term. So, and is he going to get it back? We'll see.
Maybe. I hope so.
And it got into his head. Yeah.
Yeah.
Time will tell, but I think he's in a better position to do something now.
Yeah.
Anonymity asks, is Hat Guy okay?
He's
unsure.
Fine. He has like a party tonight or something. He did tell me tonight what was going on. He has like a party to go to or something. But
so realistically, we're unsure. He might be in a van. Down by the river somewhere. We're really not sure with Hat Guy.
Alex talking about too old, Josie at 28. Hey, I'm a lot older than 28, and I'll say yes. Josie's too old at 28. 20 is great. This was ignoring 3 months ago. If this was a World Cup year, sure, 28's awesome. But when we start looking at our World Cup year is 3 years away, almost 4 years away, really. Still, 28's too old. I love Josie, but
could Josie, Stu Holden, and I saw a lot of people ripping him tonight, and
I was ripping him bad where I was watching the game for his commentary on the penalty. But anyway, go ahead.
He was talking about 3 that he think could figure, or players that could still figure in with this pool, and he mentioned Josie, he mentioned Bradley, he mentioned Guzan, which I didn't. There might have been one more, but those are the ones I remember distinctly.
I remember hearing them.
Could Josie still fill a role? Coming like in a Hurt Gomez type role, coming in the 60th minute and down a goal, up a goal. You need him because he's still a physical presence in the penalty area. I mean,
of those 3, he's probably still the first one that I would call. I shouldn't say probably. He is the first one I would call out of those 3. Even with my love of Bradley, there's just no need for him anymore. I would rather we find new answers. Josie, I would still rather we find new answers too. But if in 3.5 years we need another forward striker, we need somebody who can play that hold-up role, somebody who can just be a big body in the box to box out some defenders and knock home some goals. Yeah, absolutely, I'd take Josie. I mean, it's why Deuce still had a role. I mean, it's why we didn't we said we didn't think like Dempsey should be a starter anymore, but we did love him as the super sub because at his age, sure, he wasn't going to be effective for 90 minutes, but for 30 minutes, hell yeah.
Exactly, and that was where I'm wondering if Josie still fits in in some capacity like that. And I still think Bradley, if he has a role, I think my role for Bradley going forward tonight was answered that he doesn't have the. I kept saying he might be a good center back. If
We
John,
don't need him.
No, if John Brooks is playing that
Yeah.
well, you don't need him.
Yeah.
And you still got Cameron Carter-Vickers sitting. You've got the talent there. Miazga. Now, where I would say he would fit a role is if Miazga went down long term. I think Miazga's the anchor.
I totally agree. Yeah, yeah.
Although then again, Brooks put the armband on, which I thought was pretty awesome to see too. That tells me a lot about where he's at with the U.S. national team at this point. Anybody questioning him, his injuries or anything, whether he wants to be there, he wants to be there.
I like that both of them are solid defenders, but also good with the ball with their feet.
Mm-hmm. Which seems to be a common theme of this entire squad other than the Zardes touch.
Yeah. Well,
but supposedly that's getting better. He didn't get enough touches really to show one.
My feeling is finally maybe we have real quote unquote footballers. We have guys who can play with the ball on the ground.
Mm-hmm.
And we can pass the ball on the floor and be cool with it. We don't have a lot of guys who are gonna freak out and stumble and do something stupid if they get a little bit of pressure.
No, they're to me it's one of those, they're young enough, they're arrogant enough, they don't know any better.
Oh, sure. I'm sure, yeah.
And games like tonight are that reality check of reminding them, hey, you guys still got a lot of work to do too.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, Ben, I would agree. When we had 3 corners in a row, I thought Miazga or Brooks would get a goal. Yeah, no, I'm with you. I was hoping we would pull something off there.
Okay, so do we want to mention what was your favorite Jermaine Jones moment?
All right, yes, we should note. Say it ain't snow. Jermaine Jones has retired. I'm kind of sorry that to some extent that he announced it on a game day, because it's sort of, I think it's overshadowed then because we were playing an impressive opponent. So I don't think he gets kind of the recognition that he deserves. For all the times we've made fun of him, for all the jokes we play at his expense, and I've got one to tell in a moment that is going to be my story here. The guy played a huge role for us. He was, I think, a great member of the team, a great member of the locker room. I loved his drive, his anger, his zeal to be out there. He just was a little overzealous in his performances. So I saw, I'm wearing a Dempsey jersey. You guys can't see it right now, but I saw that AO was trying to set up a Dempsey section or something of all people wearing Dempsey jerseys for tonight's game. I did make a comment that there should be a Jermaine Jones section just behind him, and sometimes just next to them, and sometimes a little bit ahead of them, and sometimes over on the other side of them, and sometimes way back behind them, and all of a sudden way ahead of them.
My favorite Jermaine Jones moment, or not favorite, but unfortunately my last.
You're just picking one, but.
My lasting memory of Jermaine Jones was the game in Costa Rica where he was supposed to be out wide with Pulisic in the middle, and he completely abandoned it wherever the hell he wanted and just absolutely exposed that whole. It was a Chandler was out wide on that night. Everyone goes, "Well, Chandler's terrible." I'm like, or was it Brooks was out wide? And it was Brooks was out wide. Brooks is terrible. I'm like, he's out there trying to play the whole side by himself. That and was a night. It was when he would play with the LA Galaxy. It was when he played all 10 field positions at once. And just didn't tell anybody he was doing it. Those are my Jermaine. But he was always a red card waiting to happen. And if it was going to happen, it was going to be spectacular. I'll give him credit for that. But you're right. It was an energy level that team needed when he was there.
I mean, I got to say, I love a guy who, if need be, will go break somebody's leg. And it's not because I'm saying people should break people's legs. It's that I'm saying I love that there's a little bit of danger in this guy, and if you don't do things right, he will clean things up. I always loved it when I was playing. I loved to be that guy when I was playing. Like, we go like threaten players and be like, "Yeah, you do that again, you're going to be the one to pay for it." I loved that he was that guy, and yeah, it definitely made for he was a red card waiting to happen. And if you're considering yourself as like the coach or something of the team, you gotta account for that. That what are we gonna do if he starts making dumb decisions? But man, where else was that happening on that team? One of the things I like about our current team is these guys seem to be a little bit angry, or I don't. Maybe it's that they're a little bit arrogant. So they're like, oh, we're not going to take shit from anybody. Like, what could they're willing to throw some elbows too. Like, oh, I was kind of surprised there wasn't something after the dive. Some little like, oh yeah, this is what you get for you might have gotten the call, but you're gonna leave home with a couple marks too and some bruises.
My one disappointing thing with Jermaine Jones, though, when he played every position, he never broke Marquez's leg, and there's a guy whose leg that was dying to be broken.
Oh, that would have been a nice one. That one I won't. I will not speak against doing something like that. Leg, neck, back, neck.
Although the FBI's looking for him, so. So I mean,
he did turn around the Revs, yeah.
He absolutely did. That was the year where the Revs threw 250,000 in a coin flip for a coin flip.
Who did they throw it to, though?
The one who invested in the league forever.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, let's face it. Say what you will, Bob Kraft earned the right to have that one. And Jones was our hitman. Never wished
zero anonymity. I will wish a leg break on
Marquez every day.
I wish something worse on Marquez. Believe me, I'm being clean if I say that on Marquez. Marquez, Nigel de Jong, and Kevin Prince Boateng. Those three guys I hate more than anyone in any sport in the world.
Neymar's climbing that list for me.
Yeah, maybe.
For being such a little shit. He's climbing that list.
Man, those three guys are evil and should be punished for it.
And what's his name with Portugal?
Oh God, damn it, and is
just keep going. I'll come back.
Also, the defender from Real Madrid in Spain, Sergio Ramos.
Ramos.
Yes. I know you're talking about from Portugal, and I can't think of it.
Pepe.
Yeah, Pepe.
Pepe
the guy's
Ramos.
a Sicario. Well played, zero anonymity. Wow, Mexico's down 3-1 to Uruguay at the half? Huh. Yeah, we're intentionally not watching the game. That's why, for you guys who've commented on TJ having baseball in the background, that's because we refuse to have Mexico on in the background during our show.
And the Brewers are up. The Brewers are in the playoff chase. They're up 4-2, so it was 2-2 when I turned it on. So hey, we'll take that as a win.
All right. Any other thoughts on the game?
Nah, not a whole. Let's move on to two. It was what I expected. Maybe. What were ticket prices on that one? I guess I want to ask that.
Real quick. Actually, that's a good question. I didn't.
32,000 is pretty depressing for.
Yeah, you would have thought Giant Stadium could take more than that. Because 32, they could almost put them in
Red Bull Arena.
Red Bull, yeah. And as I've stated, that is an awesome stadium. The field was shit tonight.
I thought it looked fine.
Oh, no, they would show some close-ups. You could see the seams just like places where like the sod just didn't match. Like like there were
I mean,
they're
tearing it. They're going to tear it out Friday for Sunday.
Yeah. No, I mean, I understand. But it was still like, I hate when they do sod over AstroTurf because it's just not good. This looked particularly bad even for that, I felt.
No, if you're going to do it, you have to do it for a few months and then whatever. But,
yeah.
And is Eric Stover, the guy from the Cosmos, was talking about that tonight, and he just said, that stadium has to be turf with the number of events it has to put the grass down like that. He thought and I agreed. I didn't think it looked that bad, but for that quick, I mean, we've seen worse. San Antonio, Dallas.
Yeah.
No, Alex, we're not, because we're too lazy to change it away from FS1. We really just didn't want to watch Mexico tonight. There is a reason for it. So
we did literally talk about it before we went on.
Ernie Stewart said nothing in his interview. I didn't see his interview. I was busy being dad. I really didn't expect him to say anything. I really didn't care that he was saying anything. Anybody who's looking for something of value in these interviews, I don't know what they're looking for. You're not going to get anything from him. He doesn't have a timeline for the coach. When he hires a coach, he'll hire him. And he doesn't have to tell you when he's going to.
There are some interesting things in that he says he did set a profile and he wants someone to match that profile. I disregard some of the they have to speak English and they have to live in Chicago things like Alex or somebody said, because I think, well, one, look, I speak Spanish. Am I fluent in it? No. I speak French. Am I fluent in it? No. Like, you know, there are lots of ways that you can go, yeah, he speaks English. He might have 8 words of it or something. You know, like, he didn't say he's got to be a natural English speaker and he thinks and dreams in English.
No, he's got to know enough to communicate.
Speak a little bit. Yeah,
he's got to know enough to communicate, and chances are good if you know enough to communicate, you understand all of it.
Yeah,
at that point. And that's whether you speak it well or not. If you understand it, it's going to be so. When players are talking, you understand what they're saying, no matter how they're saying it without a translator.
The live in Chicago thing, I didn't realize Ernie Stewart was going to be living in Chicago. I don't totally mind it though, in that. Okay, so there is a home base, or they want to be able to meet regularly. That I'm fine with. Whatever. I'm not sure.
Hey, I got to ask the question: would you want to live in Philadelphia, or would you want to live in Chicago? Just saying.
I don't know, but my bigger comment on that has just been like when I even heard it said was, well, the president of U.S. Soccer hasn't lived in Chicago, so. What are we considering living in Chicago? Is it you have an apartment there? Because I'm sure U.S. Soccer can find a way to put an apartment for your cats in U.S. Soccer. In Chicago.
I think Chicago
the way FIFA has done for, say, certain people in New York.
I think Chicago is just a good jumping off point. The fact that it's centrally located and so on and so forth.
If it means that maybe some certain people spend more time in Chicago, which might lead to the team spending a little more time in Chicago. Hey, I'm not personally against it. It does put them closer to me and more games closer to me, so I'm okay with that. But whatever.
Yeah, that was the.
I don't know if that's truly a requirement, though. I mean, I get what he said, but I wonder a little bit if there wasn't, if all the meaning was truly behind what he said. He has a profile for what he wants. He did say he won't officially or won't fully interview people unless they meet that profile. He didn't say he won't informally interview people, which does make me wonder, maybe, like we talked about with Osorio, maybe he was interviewed, just not formally.
Well, and like I said the other night, because, Hat Guy can't be bothered to do his own show, is with Osorio, I guarantee there was conversations between his people and the people from U.S. Soccer enough to, I don't know why the hell all right. Don't ask me either the computer's possessed or something's weird about it, but anytime that Dove commercial comes on, the volume kicks on. Anyway, but there was contact between Osorio and U.S. representatives. It's just, whether it was formal interview, it was probably enough to find out he didn't want the job, or he didn't want the job at the salary they're going to offer, or he wanted more control than he was going to get. There was some reason he wasn't given a formal interview. It's one of those, you don't do the formal interview when he's going to turn it down. You just don't bother with it. So, see the rumor David Moyes was at the game tonight?
I did not, but I mean, there is the rumor that if
well, they saw him on the subway.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there's pictures of him on the subway. Yeah, he was there. He's got nothing better to do.
And realistically, there were players that he may not have a direct relationship with, but whatever. He could have been watching Brazilians play, if nothing else. But there is the rumor that he might be on the short list as the next Atlanta United coach if Tata Martino should become the U.S. national coach.
Mm-hmm.
But these are all rumors that
Who cares? You know what? We'll find.
Until you can substantiate it somehow, somewhat,
Let's
I'm
let's
willing to kind of overlook.
let's wait until Ernie Stewart hires somebody, and then you'll piss and moan about it like you do everything else, and everything life will be fine.
I don't piss and moan about everything, just maybe most things.
Close enough. So
It all boils down to what makes Chris happy. You're damn right, zero anonymity.
yeah, pretty much. But then again, everybody hates Chris. They did a whole show on this.
Everybody hates Chris.
All right, I think we've beaten this.
Yeah, I think we've hit the wall here. So thanks for. Oh, I should ask predictions for Tuesday night, since we will not be back on until post game Tuesday.
It's true. Where's the game?
Nashville. Because I was going to go to this. If not for England, I would be going to the game.
Dos Cero. You got to go with tradition. I realistically, I think 2-1 Mexico.
I was going to say 2-1 US. I don't think it'll be Dos Cero because I think the spell a little bit has been broken. I think it may return in qualifiers, but I think for the time being, the spell's been broken on friendlies. I haven't looked enough at Mexico's lineup to see how good their team is versus the team we've brought in. So I can't say for sure that, I truly believe in them. Look, there are a few guys on Mexico that even I have to say, yeah, they're pretty awesome. The rest of their team, I don't know. We got a bunch of up-and-comers too, and I have trouble saying that we can't hang with them.
No, but if Mexico brings their top guys, Mexico's top guys are still better than our young guys, and that's why I say a 2-1 game. If they bring their loaded side, if they bring a B side, then I think you're correct. But it seems like everybody's kind of bringing out the guns for these.
Yeah, I've been surprised that lineups have been as good as they are. For being like the kind of the first games on an international break after World Cup, I really expected it to be run out guys, give the stars a break.
Except UEFA didn't give them the break.
True.
They put them right back in with that League of Nations. Have you watched any of it, by the way?
I've seen a little.
I love that they're all on ESPN Plus.
Germany France was boring.
Yeah. But you know what? And that's one of my arguments with soccer Twitter. One of my many arguments with soccer Twitter is everybody will say quality, a higher quality game is a more exciting game. Not always. Actually, usually it's not, because especially with a game with high stakes to it, you're playing more not to lose than you're playing to win.
You're playing to see who will make the first mistake.
Christian Piera says CONCACAF Nations League is better than the UEFA Nations League. I'll say this much. I haven't watched any of the CONCACAF Nations League, but I'm guessing it's pretty wide open with these lower level teams. And that's entertaining. It may not be good soccer, but it's going to be entertaining. And that's kind of at the end of the day why we watch. You're like, all right, yep, they can play a lot of really good defense. So I don't know. I watched which game did I actually get to watch a little bit? It was Liechtenstein and somebody. It was one of the Group D games, and Liechtenstein, one of their center midfielders, plays for the Fire, and I can't even remember who he was. The guy they got from Toronto earlier this year. But anyway, I love the fact that it's all on TV, that there's so much of it on right now. Makes me happy. So, all right.
On that note,
if I'm happy and Hat Guy's not here,
we'll see. Hat Guy says he will be here Tuesday, so join us then after the hopefully the U.S. beats Mexico, the worst team on earth. And that said,
we've got Instagram.
We are USfanTV. Hopefully you know where to find us because you found us on the mighty YouTube. We are on Twitter at USfanTV. We are on Facebook at
Somewhat.
USFanTV. We are on our website, USFanTV.com, and there was even something I posted there today. There'll be something after this show that posts. So, hey, check us out and read up there. Find us on Instagram. Check out the cool post I made about Jermaine Jones today on Instagram at USFanTV. Mention that.
We are on Craigslist.
It's kind of like we just use USFanTV everywhere we go. We are on Craigslist and Backpages and whatever the hell else people have said. I don't remember.
But you got to know where to find.
But you got to know where to find us. So good luck with that.
We are not we are not on Snapchat, but Chris is on Snapchat. We don't like Snapchat. Chris does.
On that note, TJ, any last words?
Have a good weekend, everybody. See you Tuesday.
You're done. You're done, everybody. See ya. See ya.